You probably know Brian Shaw as one of the strongest men on the planet. He's taken home the world's strongest man title 4 times. But here's the twist. The giant is now gearing up for a whole new battle. Instead of lifting cars and flipping massive tires, Brian is setting his sights on a completely different challenge, arm wrestling. Imagine this. The guy who's practically a mountain of muscle now locking arms in an all-out battle of strength and strategy. Curious yet? Well, hold on, because this transition is about to get crazy.
My name is Brian Shaw, and I'm the world's strongest man.
For those who might not know, Brian Shaw is a powerhouse in the world of strength sports. This guy's been in the game for years, dominating competitions and racking up wins like it's no big deal. World's strongest man champion, multiple times, think about that for a second. But here's the thing, Brian didn't start just chasing strength records for the fun of it. This guy's driven by pure passion and insane dedication. His story is a mix of grit, determination, and some wild performances that have left fans speechless.
The way Brian trains at his home state of Colorado, he has all these apparatuses, so he overtrains. He builds kettlebells bigger than he's going to be required to throw here.
Now, it wasn't always smooth sailing for Brian. His journey to becoming the big guy he is today came with its fair share of challenges. From overcoming injuries to facing tough competition, Brian's resilience made him a favorite in the strongman community. There's a reason why people say Brian Shaw is the man to beat in strongman events. Hold on, here's where things get interesting. Despite his incredible career, Brian is now making the bold decision to step into the world of arm wrestling. Why arm wrestling? After being the guy in strongman for years, what makes him want to take on something so different? Well, first off, Brian's never been one to shy away from a challenge. If you've seen his journey through strongman, you know that this guy loves pushing boundaries and facing the unexpected. Arm wrestling is a whole new world, but it's not exactly too far from what Brian's used to. If anything, it's kind of a perfect next step. The amount of strength and technique involved is right up his alley, but it's a mental and physical challenge in a completely different way. And let's face it, who wouldn't be curious to see a 6'8", 440-pound monster crush some world's renowned strongest arm wrestlers? Picture the scene. The strongest man towering over his competitors, locking arms in a battle of willpower, raw muscle, and precision. It's like watching David and Goliath, except this time, Goliath is the underdog, taking on a new beast of a sport. The idea of seeing Brian, a legendary strongman, step into the arm wrestling ring has fans on the edge of their seats. And you know what? We're all in for a wild ride.
Like that. And the bear weighed like, I think they found the bear, and the bear was like 450 pounds. Okay? And Brian was like, he told me the story. I go, so what are you saying? He goes, I just want to know how I do against the bear. And he was dead serious. I go, what do you mean?
Now, arm wrestling might look like a simple clash of muscles, but it's actually one of the most technical sports out there. Sure, raw power plays a huge role, but so does leverage, technique, and strategy. It's about angles, positioning, and explosive speed. Think of it like chess, but with arms. A little twist in the wrist, the right move at the right time, and it can make all the difference. They're gold in the world of arm wrestling. Arm wrestling champions don't just have arms that could crush steel, they also have brains. And guess who's known for his calculated moves in strongman competitions? Yep, that's him. The transition from one sport to another isn't always easy. Switching means starting from scratch in a world where technique and speed often outweigh brute strength. He'll need to retrain his body, focusing on wrist, hand, and forearm endurance instead of full body power, while also adjusting to the risk of tendon and joint injuries.
So in arm wrestling, like when I was coming into it, a lot of the old guys used to say it's a tendon sport. And I never used to understand. I'm like, I don't understand. The muscle is doing the movement. But you don't really understand it until the tendon becomes a shortcoming. And then you start to be like, oh, it's the tendons, it's the connective tissues that are holding me back.
To compete against seasoned arm wrestlers, he must master new strategies to prove he's more than just raw strength in this highly technical sport. But why are we talking about him? He's always been about pushing limits. That's the mindset of a champion. And it's exactly why this guy is such an interesting figure in sports. The fact that he's ready to dive into arm wrestling says a lot about his competitive drive. A giant in the strength world, going up against some of the best arm wrestlers is next-level thrilling. Fans are already buzzing about what this could mean. What's it going to look like when a man who's built like a tank tries his hand at arm wrestling? Will his strength translate? Or will arm wrestling require a different kind of finesse that even Brian's muscle-bound frame can't help with?
Ready, go!
You didn't go.
No, I did not go.
Go!
Okay, stop.
What makes his journey even more compelling is the mental side of it. In the world of strongman, he's used to being the big guy on the block, the man with all the power. But arm wrestling is a different world, and it's going to take more than just muscle mass. To truly thrive, Brian will have to tap into that mental toughness, strategy, and quick thinking he's shown in strongman competitions. We're talking about a man who spent years perfecting his craft, and now he's doing the same thing for arm wrestling. Fans of Brian are in for a treat as they watch him rise through the ranks, figure out the techniques, and likely bring a whole new level of excitement to the sport. It's clear that he has all the physical tools to become a formidable force in arm wrestling. His strength is nearly unmatched, and his competitive edge is as sharp as ever. But will he be able to master the techniques of this sport and stand alongside arm wrestling's best? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, Brian is in it to win it, and we're all here for the ride.
I was training this with a mug.
With a mug.
You wanna see?
Yeah.
Okay, let me grab it real quick.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. That looks heavy.
Yeah.
That's solid, eh? Love
So we'll
it.
start with. Oh man. Well, do you want the
Yeah,
full
no,
thing
let me
or-
feel it. Let me feel it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, real good. Oh, my God, bro.
So, what can we expect from this new chapter in his career? For one, we'll see him learning the ropes in a new sport. There's definitely going to be a learning curve, and it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts. As of now, there's a lot of hype around his potential matchups, with fans eagerly waiting for him to step into the ring against some of the arm wrestling world's finest. But the journey is about more than just competing. It's about growth, skill building, and proving to himself and everyone watching that he's capable of making an impact anywhere. And if there's one thing we know about him, he's always ready to rewrite the script. Looking ahead, the potential for the strongman in arm wrestling is huge. He's already built up a massive following from his strongman career, and that fan base is eager to see how he fares in this new chapter. The arm wrestling world is only going to get bigger, and with Brian's presence, it's safe to say that his entry is going to raise the stakes for the entire sport. Whether he wins or loses, the fact that he's willing to step out of his comfort zone will only add to his legacy as a true sports icon. His entrance into the arm wrestling world could have a ripple effect across strength sports. The spotlight could inspire a whole new generation of athletes to consider taking on both strength sports and arm wrestling side by side. Die-hard fans and fellow athletes will be watching to see if Brian can take the lessons he's learned in strongman and apply them to arm wrestling.
You will sometimes eat 12 times a day. Like you,
Not 12.
Okay.
I would say 7 or 8 was
7 or 8. But 4 hours of your day is chewing.
I mean, at certain points, so if you're sitting down in a meal, on average would be like a pound of meat, then potatoes, rice, maybe some type of vegetable, something like this, right? Like that, some type of meal. That, it just simply takes, I don't know, 20 minutes or so.
Imagine the energy, the drama that could come from seeing a world-class strongman challenging arm wrestling's elite. This is exactly the kind of crossover that can make both sports even more exciting. And just like that, Brian Shaw is diving headfirst into the wild world of arm wrestling. With his insane passion and unstoppable drive, this could be one of the most epic career shifts we've ever seen. Will he crush the competition or hit unexpected roadblocks? One thing's for sure, this ride is just getting started, and you won't want to miss a second of it.